It's elegant, sleek, and simple, and took plywood from bland to beautiful. The Eames LCW, short for lounge chair wood, was named Best Design of the 20th Century by Time magazine.
Not the most important chair design, the most important design that sort of outranked the Beetle and anything else you want to identify.
The reason? It's timeless. It was designed back in the 1940s by the quirky husband and wife team, Charles and Ray Eames, who would later become icons of furniture design. They were intrigued by organic, curved forms and set out to make a comfortable chair that was easy on the eye and the budget.
The LCW was very much an attempt to use a new material to create low-cost seating.
Plywood was perfect and plentiful.
It was a brand new material, and nobody really understood the material other than a construction material.
Not ones to be pinned down by convention, this off-the-wall couple set out to push the limits of what could be done with plywood. They would find a way to bend it. Like mad scientists, they experimented late into the evenings.
Well, it was interesting. They created their own machinery.
They built a contraption in their spare bedroom and called it the Kazam machine.
Turning on the Kazam machine drained the power in the whole apartment complex. They said they weren't very popular, actually, in the apartment.
One day, their strange invention caught the attention of a doctor friend.
The war was on at this time, Second World War. The problem that the doctor identified was that the splints that were being used to serve these wounded soldiers were metal and were not good and were hard to move around. So Charles and Ray got very intrigued with the problem.
Never ones to shy away from a challenge, Charles and Ray shifted their focus to curving leg splints for the war effort. The U.S. Navy ended up ordering 5,000 of these, and that cash gave Charles and Ray the leg up they needed to return to chair design full-time. In 1947, Charles became the creative director at Herman Miller Furniture. In that year, the first LCW came off the production line after much experimentation by the couple.
They would do many, many prototypes. If we talk about chairs, of how the legs worked, how the different pieces worked, how they would come together. Today,
in Grand Rapids, Michigan, they make the LCW pretty much the same way it was done back then. The process begins with 7-layer stacks of thin wood plies, or veneers. Half the veneers are passed through these rollers, where they receive an even coat of wood glue on both sides. They're then sandwiched together by hand, alternating glue-covered sheets with dry ones. The wood grains are crisscrossed for added strength. The final outer layers are called fancy veneers, made of higher quality woods. They're what have made the LCW famous.
I just like the way that the chair shows off the wood and it doesn't cover up with cushions.
The layered veneers are then placed into a computer-controlled press, where a combination of heat and pressure bends the wood.
They press that, takes the shape, and then they'll take that to a machine press that cuts out the shape for the seat, the back, and the legs.
A computerized arm with a router attachment cuts each chair piece to precise measurements. Circles are then sanded, where the all-important shock mounts will be placed. A shock mount is a large rubber washer with a nut embedded inside. They're crucial because they serve as shock-absorbing points of connection between the various chair parts.
These points of connection were flexible enough so that when one sat in the chair would move with the person and be more comfortable.
We do torque testing on every one of the shock mounts. So there isn't one LCW that goes through that we haven't tested the shock mounts on.
This one gets a fail. It'll be sent back and replaced.
That, for us, is the biggest focus. When this chair leaves, the shock mounts have been tested and that they're functioning correctly.
This woman not only tests shock mounts, she has an eagle eye for matching veneers. Seats, backs, and legs are hand-selected for their similarities and then propped up on this revolving table so the back support and legs can be attached. If you've purchased an LCW in the last 10 years, there's a good chance Darlene has assembled it for you.
I think they're pretty. I really do.
The chairs are finally wrapped and loaded into shipping boxes, ready to wow the homes of lucky customers around the world.
When I'm 90, I'm certain we'll be selling the LCW, and that's interesting because if you say a furniture piece, relatively unchanged for 100 years, it's a remarkable thought.
The LCW proves that a plywood chair can be comfortable and gorgeous. It also proves that you can't beat an award-winning team like Charles and Ray Eames. They were devoted to their work and each other, and it paid off handsomely. Their LCW has become a fixture in the furniture design world.